Many in the crowd have come to see this match, the welterweight match. Unheralded Candelariо Dюверхель of Cuba against this man, 19-year-old Mark Brilënd, reigning world amateur boxing champion, and the young man who was named outstanding boxer at those world championships in Munich. To win the title in Munich, he had to beat one of the world's best amateur welterweights, Kandelario of the Soviet Union. What a job Brilënd did. Long arms of his, keeping the Soviet fighter at bay, waiting for his chance, and then finally moving in, and the opening was there. A thunderous right hand put Kandelario down. But now, as the top amateur in the world, is the pressure anymore for Mark Brilënd?
Well, yeah, there's a little pressure with that. You know, it's just like saying, well, I got the title now, and everybody's looking. And when I go out there, I know I have to be in shape because everybody's going to be coming after me to take my title. But the pressure is good because it makes me train harder. And I know I have to be in shape on every bout. So I will be in shape, and I am definitely ready.
So Brilënd ready to go in his corner for round one of the welterweight bout. And the young man he's up against is fighting in his first international bout, Candelariо Dюверхель of Cuba. You wonder if the Cubans are feeding this guy to a piranha, or, as so many Cubans in the past have shown us, they don't have to box internationally to be good fighters. They come out of the island country with a lot of skill. But Candelario Dюверхель certainly in tough against Mark Brilënd here, who's long reach. And that fast jab of his comes through time and time again. And Mark goes to work early. Brilënd, whose definite aim is to win gold for the United States in the '84 Olympic Games, will also be appearing in a movie to be released in the spring called The Lords of Discipline. A couple of 19-year-olds, one with a big reputation to uphold, Mark Brilënd. But as Mark will find as his career progresses, there'll be many like Dюverhel out to make a name for themselves at his expense. So there really isn't a bout that Brilënd can afford to take lightly. He's quick. As you can see, retreating out of the way of the punches of Dюverhel. Dюverhel was the runner-up in the Cuban Junior Championship. He's still a student. But Mark, with a 5-inch height advantage and that long reach advantage over him. The referee is the Cuban Romelio Santiago. Brilënd for pushing on. Brilënd goes on the offensive so much despite his long arms, as you saw there. He leaves himself vulnerable to punches. A good counterpuncher might be able to get to Mark, but he's boxing here with an abundance of confidence. Chopping right from the Cuban, and then gets a caution from Santiago for a low head. I guess if all the rules were interpreted correctly in every bout, the referee could stop for an infraction every 5 or 10 seconds. But Santiago certainly intervenes more frequently than most officials. And here is the Cuban Dюверхель coming on now, as we have about 30 seconds to go in the first round. Like others before him, the small ring is not a bonus for Brilënd. It looks as though he has certainly an edge in the round, but in the latter seconds, the Cuban has been coming on. At the bell. Round two is underway. The welterweight bout, Mark Brilënd of the U.S. and Candelario Dюверхель of Cuba. Brilënd with a slight edge in the first round. Not an overwhelming one, though, against this young man fighting in his first international bout. Brilënd felt before the bout that the Cubans were sending Dюверхель in to make a name for himself at the expense of Brilënd if he could do it. So Brilënd not taking this competitor lightly by any means. Brilënd, arms held low much of the time, lopes around that ring, changes directions from time to time, constantly on the move. Took a good left there from the Cuban fighter Dюверхель. Dюverhel's left continues to get through to Brilënd, who misfired that punch. Again, intervention by referee Santiago of Cuba. Crowd doesn't like that. They've got a minute now into round number 2. And so far, Brilënd far from being overwhelming. Again, moving laterally around the ring. A small ring, just 17 feet here in Reno. For a boxer who likes to move like Brilënd, that is not to his advantage. And Dюverhel has had trouble pinning him for very long. Brilënd so active with his movement, now past the halfway mark of the second round. Mark having trouble solving it. Throwing very few combinations. One punch at a time. The jab, then missing with the right. Ducks out of trouble again. Dюverhel appears to be gaining confidence as he goes along. The Cubans lead 4 matches to 2. Brilënd again jabbing in, moving. Now gets a combination on. Gets a good right hand through. One of the few good rights he's thrown in this bout. 30 seconds to go in the second round as Brilënd continues the assault. Welt out of the rear, Dюverhel. Nothing serious yet. Took some punishment about 30 seconds ago. Now inside 10 seconds of round 2. 3 rounds, the welterweight bout. U.S.-Cuba duel meet in Reno. There's the bell to end the second round.